Hello again, everyone. Melth here, with more of my Baldur's Gate 3 challenge run. This time tackling the puzzles and perils of the Mind Flayer colony, and perhaps getting to the second fight against Catherine. We'll see how long it takes. As usual, details of my challenge run are in the YouTube video description, and watch out for spoilers throughout this run. So, last time we recruited Us and dealt with the hobgoblin that was butchering people for their brains to turn into intellect devourers like us. Now, Us is a decent summon, but not a great one, because Us has only 14 dexterity, so a mediocre initiative, and then can't be made to drink elixirs for whatever reason, unlike most summons. So if you go to like Elixir and try to give him an Elixir of Vigilance, you just can't do it. Now, he doesn't have a mouth, admittedly, but plenty of things that don't have mouths can still drink, so I'm not sure about that. In any case, he's a decent range attack, but he'll seldom get to have a turn before combats are over. This combat through this door might be an exception, though. There are a lot of enemies in here that kind of spread out, so we'll probably have 2 turns of fighting. Alright, let's get in there. So, this is Balthazar's laboratory. It's got his creepy necromantic magic stuff going on here. These profane wombs, you might wonder what they're for, and the answer is normally nothing, but if you took the evil side and foolishly cooperate with them the entire way through, they'll then randomly betray you at this point, and you wake up in this profane wombs being worked on by Balthazar, and then you fight your way out from here, basically, and then you resume the normal course of events. So, greater zombies, they have a lot of hit points, but they're zombies. They're no big deal. All that really matter are the winged horrors, which could fly down and paralyze us, and of course the Death Shepherd over there could revive someone, and they were moderately tough to deal with back in Act 1. But we have come a long way from the midpoint or so of Act 1. I think I want to hex that guy. And I want to get myself a kill on some random zombie or whatever, and then I can blast away at the Death Shepherd and break his aura so he stops powering up other undead. There are also Nautiloid tanks around, but few guys are standing near them currently. I guess I could hit like 2 zombies over there. 2 maybe over there. I might be able to get better results when this crowd over here comes dashing over toward me. I'm probably going to wait for that. What I might do is, if I have this elemental fly over there, can Ballista attack that winged horror? No, his path is interrupted. Okay, I believe that, to be honest. Sometimes I question their targeting, but here I think that's reasonable.
Behold the dancer.
Okay. So if I can soften up that zombie just a little bit, that would work to give Ballista the kill that he needs. Let's have you just poke that one first to power up your crossbow shot. Sure, do Divine Strike Thunder. Okay, that one is now guaranteed deathable. And then we blast you twice. If I blast you 2 more times, that'll probably just get the kill right there. So I should probably save one of these bolts for maybe that greater zombie. Alright, not a bad turn for Ballista. I could use haste, but I really don't think it'll be needed because I can just rely on the zombie's own slowness to solve a lot of the problems here.
Yes, here.
If we take out or slow down the graders, that will be all we need to do, really. That takes care of you. I could blow up that Nautiloid pod. This is probably about the best shot we'll get with it, so yeah, I'm gonna go for that, I think.
Whatever experiments Balthazar performed here, I fear he made more than thralls and ghouls.
Not a bad start. A bad finish, admittedly.
Time to push my luck again. I wonder if this is worth a cost.
The winged horror over there probably should be my top priority from here, I think. If I finish it with a cold weak, it might blow up the zombie next to it anyway. Nah, not quite, but close enough. That one will just die to a spike or things like that, presenting obstacles to it. Bad shot there. No matter. I think I saw a better pixel where I could shoot it from just a second ago, didn't I? There we go. Okay, well I've got this dryad that should probably jump over the head of the crowd that's blocking it. If it'll... Come on, let me jump. And then I can create some obstacles over there. Should be able to effectively negate the chance of that zombie to do much of anything. That one too. I think that one 3 would have to go through the spikes and then we'll just die as a result.
Blood comes easy these days.
Can this woodwode get anywhere? I don't think so. I'll just have it dash ahead for now. Get out of the way. Then we just have the winged horror up there to deal with. Already the skeleton is near enough to the front that they can get up there easier. It seems like we don't quite have the pixel we need to be allowed to target it. Sad to waste the skeleton's turn.
Come on.
But whatever, I should just get this over with faster, I think. No sense in optimizing unimportant things here. You can't reach me without dashing, you can't reach me without dashing, so yeah, this is over. What's the deal with that guy?
I won't give in.
Alright, here they come. The AI in this game is not good about combining dash with having a flight speed. They'll just always dash and walk for some reason. Okay, he's next to the Nautiloid pod. I love to see that. Why is it panning the screen over there? I'm trying to watch what they're doing here. Well, I could fly over and blind it and then start pecking it. And shooting it with arrows and things like that. Might as well. It's okay, we've got 2 more ravens for that reason. Really didn't get much mileage out of the hag potion bite because it doesn't work on undead. I mean, it's not that great anyway, it's just kind of a joke, if anything, to give that hag potion to your familiars and have a slightly stronger bite attack. But it did seem like whenever they were ready to attack something, it was undead, and therefore that was not usable. 3rd time's the charm. Alright. Now we can do a synaptic discharge for pretty good damage on it, I would think. Or not. You're making those ravens sad. They worked hard to blind this guy. Okay, fine, whatever. Is he going to be next to the Nautiloid pod? He is. Nice, that all went as planned. Ooh, next to the pod. I love that. Gonna be a fun blast next turn. He had to way through the spikes. That's fine though.
Alright, Karlak. It's go time.
Alright, jump up there so you can get an easier shot and then burst that Nautiloid pod on them. Any of them at 1 HP that could just be popped by a dryad? Looks like it. Okay, cancel your current spike growth. I love infinite use spike growth. It's crazily good. Alright, so if I drop it there... it's kind of in the middle, isn't it? Okay, I'll drop it thereabouts and hit all of those guys. Oh, did the thing where sometimes it doesn't damage them for unclear reasons? Okay. It often does initial damage, but sometimes not. Well, that's fine. Okay, so you can shoot that guy. Should be guaranteed death, I think. Do you want to reapply Hex? Yeah, we'll reapply Hex. Hex Strength, that guy.
Exit.
Poke that one, that should be death. Double tap that one. Do you want to do 2 more hits on them? That might be redundant. Alright, the cold we took them out as I hoped.
Fuck yes.
I think we can start just mowing down the survivors now. guys should be able to do reliable low amounts of damage. If I hit you and you, I think they both get hit automatically. I believe that the chance that this plays is actually, not the chance to hit, but the chance to hit for full damage versus half. Does that leave just like 1 at 1 HP, or can't even tell? All I see is 1 at 1 HP, so.
Unleash me.
Let's just go for that guy over there. Okay, not bad at all. I don't think they have any useful treasure or things like that. Maybe a few scraps of gold. I bet the Death Shepherd has armor, which back in Act 1 was a great find when armor was pretty scarce that was any good, but now we're just drowning in excessive full plate, so don't care too much anymore. Well, up ahead over here we have one of the game's quite few puzzles, and a fairly creative one, I would say. Just to avoid crowding, I'll have only Ballista go down ahead, I think. So we interface with this neural network thing here, and it creates a bunch of nodes that we must connect.
Touches your own, alien, and full of death.
Don't really know what the point of this mind machine thing here is, honestly.
Incomplete. It yearns to connect, but needs you to guide the process, linking each part of your...
A decent excuse for a puzzle, I guess. We need to link 4 nodes on our side to 4 equivalent ones on that side. We have, for example, reason must link to reason over there, and reason's at the top on both sides, emotions at the bottom on both sides, but speech and memory are flipped on each one. So I think it's just general strategy. It makes sense to try to have the one that's on the bottom go through the bottom first, basically, and just try to take up as few nodes as possible on that way. Like was the one on the top, and then that'll hopefully leave a decluttered middle for the two that must switch to not block each other. So let me make sure I've got a good path here that won't block anything else. Because it looks like I think reason and emotion both have quite limited options. Like you probably would want to have, at first glance, emotion connect there and then there. But that would block, I think, memory's only path. So we should not do that. We should maybe do... Yeah, emotion has to go to this node. Like, that one, there's just no question about it. But then we don't want to go to that one or we end up blocking memory. So let's try to stick low to avoid blocking anything else. A little hard to see. I feel like that's one of the biggest parts of the challenge here. Alright, hopefully that'll be a good path here. And then I would probably take this one along one of the upper paths that will least likely block anything else. Blue wants to go this way, so I think we want to have reason, as I reason this out, go this way, and just stay high, because nothing else should need to take the high paths. Okay, so then green, as we saw, only really has like one set of things it can do, I think. So we just make sure we don't block any, one path for blue here. Blue should be able to go boop, 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 and be just fine, right? So green now go along like that, and that, and that, and that. And that should be good. And speech can just go like that.
Welcome back, Master.
That. I don't know if they ever changed the actual formation of the nodes here, but I think in general this is a pretty good strategy for solving it. Check for if anything it truly has only one direction that can go, make sure you don't block that one, and then generally, connect the ones that stay on the same section first, because it'll be easy to keep them out of the way of the others. Alright, so the real prize over here is the Waking Mind. You might remember way back on the Nautilus, we got the Dark Mind and we got the Slave Mind back at the beginning of the game, and they seem so interesting and cool, and sadly they're not, but we've got them and we can use them for a little bit of minor dialogue stuff here. But before we do that, I think I'll just, for efficiency's sake, connect or collect all the brains from across this whole dungeon and then do them all at once, rather than, right now. Let's see. I mean, this is fun. You can trigger it pretty often, but like regaining hit points, not that big a deal at this point. In Act 3, you start getting a lot of items that are just infinite regeneration anyway. Now, this is pretty good. We can definitely have a star and trigger that every single round with his psychic damage ring. And mental fatigue is pretty serious. You know, giving people penalties to their wisdom saving throws, that's hardcore, because wisdom saving throws are often just, if you fail them, you are done. But the thing is, the way I'd be reliably triggering that would be having Astarians shoot the person repeatedly. So I don't know if I'll get that much use out of them. I'll keep them just in case I think of a use, but they're probably not going to be that important.
Prepare the march.
Alright, let us get over here and hop back up the... Oh, what? Why did they come down when I told them not to? Disobedient brain and quasit. Anyway, you use the brains over there, we'll come back and do that in a bit. Let's run around the outside here and make our way out to another section of the Mind Flayer colony. I like this dungeon a lot. It is very, open-ended in how you approach it. There are corridors, but like it tends to be like every place connects to almost every other place. Downside, it doesn't give much of a sense of order or connection or purpose to things, but upside, the freedom of moving around is nice, I guess. This is where the path to the final boss is, I believe. I'm going to just stroll on in there, collect a brain, and kill the 2 intellect devourers. As I mentioned, I don't know of a way to make them all fight you in any kind of serious battle. They die in like 1 hit apiece anyway.
True souls pass through this place.
So, there's one. Didn't feel threatened by that, apparently.
Time to kill.
Alright, dealt with. You can get a free rest over here before the final boss, but of course I won't be doing that.
Don't waste a step.
Let's collect the brain over there. We have too many brains now. Let's move them around to someone who has carry weight to spare. That looks like you, Minthara. Is there anything else here? I don't think so. This is the elevator down we'll be avoiding. I used to have trouble seeing, they said there's a whole fleet of nautiloids over here. It's up there is where it is. I was always looking down there for them.
At least things have stayed interesting.
In any case, I don't believe there's anything else in here, really. Is that just someone in the elevator? Yeah, okay. Let's head on back up to the rest of this dungeon. I think, is this pathway here to where the creepy necromancer group works? Yeah, it is. Okay. Now, you're supposed to get some really good Dark Urge stuff here, explaining kind of what happened to you in this Mind Flayer colony and, your horrible experiences here or whatever, being operated upon by some mad necromancer doctor. But I've had this bug that I've mentioned a few times that has ruined everything for the Dark Urge, where I'm stuck in permanent disguise self mode. They don't recognize me as the Dark Urge half the time, so I doubt I'll get that dialogue. We'll see. So, 4 necromancers over there.
Not thralls or undead. They were loyal to Ketheric and his grim cause.
Become dead.
Speaking to them. She, I think, is married to Magthu, and then used to be friends with Ironfinger, but now he realizes she's gone completely crazy even for one of these guys. If they come over here, will that put them in nautiloid range? That'll be interesting. I don't know whether it'll happen or not. No, they get buffed up. I'm glad I waited. What does that do? Temporary points. Yeah, neat. Okay. So I guess it's a slightly tougher way to do this fight. I'm glad I randomly discovered it while making this video.
Gather yourselves. Soon we march to victory.
Alright, will you talk to me now?
General Thorm was
No. Okay, so she's supposed to recognize you and be delighted to see you because she had this weird
you are what
treating you like a pet, but also with a weird sexual overtone perspective on you as the first person who was parasitized here, and then she repeatedly cut you up and stitched you back together to find out why you didn't succumb to Mind Flayer transformation and things like that. But we won't get that dialogue here. Wait, they just walked past her in that? Okay, so I guess they aren't near the nautiloid pods anymore. They didn't care about the imminent attack, they just went to their quarters to pack up or whatever. Okay. Well, I don't anticipate things being too difficult here. Let's just start shooting. Like all of these, what are they called? Skull Lashers or the Mistress of Souls. They all basically can cast shield, I believe, so their armor class is a bit higher than it displays, but still not a big deal. Yeah, okay. Getting very lucky here. I got very unlucky there. That meant that now I didn't actually manage to get a kill on that guy with the star in, so I must soften up someone else for him instead. I was trying to do that trigger, of course, Bloodless Elixir as usual. Alright, would that be a kill? Yeah, that's a kill. Okay, so now go ahead and shoot her, I guess. Sure, we'll do a sneak attack.
Well, so much.
Probably just 2 pokes from Ballista would now be enough. Maybe we can... Yeah, we won't bother hexing. We'll save like an offhand crossbow shot instead. Wah wah. Having some pretty bad rolls here, but that's fine. It's only a few necros.
On your command. Let me strike.
Well, I think Karlach has our next most accurate attack, so it makes sense. Oh wait, did I just run the wrong way? Oops. That's okay, Karlach has plenty of speed. I wanted to have her go for Cressa, because it'll be hard for Cressa to block her with a shield, given that she should have accuracy to spare. And then reunite this husband and wife. Or not. Okay. Your job now, Minthara.
Right away.
There we go.
She is but the hack.
So now, as if all of this had actually been described to the Darkers properly, we get to this part of the dialogue. I really hate this bug, which is just ruining the story of this run.
Attacked you in the midst of whatever you were doing down here. This necromancer was a grunt in the scheme of the horrors enacted against you. That attacker.
She's still alive. Just moved her mouth there.
Her experiments may well have made the damage worse.
Weird. Well, I don't think we can do speak with dead on her, which you'd think you could do to interrogate her to get the information that we need. But as far as I'm aware, that doesn't actually work. Anyway, necromancer journals here indicate their different personalities and perspectives and things like that. They, I guess, weren't given the good quality equipment that the other Mistresses of Souls and whatnot have. So we see some intrigue there of he realized that the Dark Urge was kind of a bad influence on his already insane wife and therefore had me sent out on the Nautiloid and... There we go.
No traps, please.
She at least has the full power Merkelite Scourge, which is still a sucky weapon, so who cares?
Design.
Merkel altar over here.
Death.
I don't think there's anything useful or interesting in their areas, so I'll check. Yeah, I mean, speed potion, that's nice, I guess. We have like 50 of them, but they're good. I think he has a creepy letter. She talks about how he knows that Cressa's going to parasitize him at some point, just so she'll have something new to experiment on. But that didn't make him realize in time that he was on the wrong side here, I guess. Not enough empathy for everyone else being horrified by what happens to them, the same as he would be. Alright. Harry Henry the Bugbear. He's dumber than the rest of them. Don't know why he was allowed to work with them. His journal reflects that. He's disgusted about being inside this living organism monster dungeon. That makes sense to me. The Grey Waste of Hades is one of the 50 gajillion hell realms in this universe. It's the neutral evil one where Merkel, because he's not important at all as a god, has his lair sometimes, rather than having his own realm. Alright, so this, I think, relates to, the Dark Urge's experiments and so forth. I think this just kind of bugs me. It's too silly, the notion of the Dark Urge, already basically had to pulling out his own large intestine to try to use to strangle the person without, killing himself in the process. They're trying to make the Dark Urge seem like impossibly badass and vicious there, but it just, to me, seems impossible and silly instead. Alright, let's get out of here and move on to the rescue of Zevlor, I think. And then Mizora, I think once we do Zevlor and Mizora and the brain machine stuff, I think we'll be done in here.
This place has been used to make slaves of those who should be masters.
Counterpoint, no one should be a slave. What about that, stupid drow? Alright. We can listen to the thoughts of the people portrayed to mind players here.
Fragmented memories and emotions. All that remains of the pod inhabitants' former self.
I feel like I remember this one having extra long... Yeah, there we go. Yeah, this one has the longest description.
Laughter. His mind broke. You remember the shattered windows.
So here we get a lot of
This high cathedral.
Zevlor. We hear his thoughts. Imagines the Absolute saving them, imagines things back in Elturel, and tries to tell people to surrender to the Absolute forces, which is what the refugees had mixed perspectives on, viewing it either as a betrayal or just as incompetence, basically.
Behind the shields of your paladin order, waiting for
basically, it seems like they fought throughout the descent into hell, and then afterward, they were betrayed by the other citizens and kicked out.
Casts your people out.
And that ruined his faith.
Them down to hell. And the device doesn't...
Oh, great, that one's empty. This one's got a mind player, though.
Courage, conviction, defiance. Even as her organs began to dissolve, she believed she could resist.
And here's another mind flayer, and then there's one living person in there. Yep.
Curiosity, fascination.
One of the flaming fists, I guess.
Pod pulsates with the angry memories of Raven Guard's search officer, Manip Shurga. She laments her fate, desperation, pain, terror. Cultists raided his village.
So, we can either destroy them all, or we can free them all and fight the mind flayers and whatnot. And of course, I'll be doing the latter. But Minthara hates that, apparently, and it is very hard so far to get any approval with her, so I might send her away to not witness my heroic decision here.
Static energy fills your mind. Every mind flayer in the room calls out hungrily from its pod, seeking release and sustenance. But there are others in the pods, those not yet infected, not yet elithid, terrified, desperate to escape.
So while we think about that, I will just send Minthara elsewhere to not witness this.
Paul's command.
Ungroup, ungroup.
If I must.
Yes, you must go elsewhere.
Death comes quietly. Veiled in shadow.
So Astarion hates that, but Astarion hates every good or smart decision in the entire game. If you ever see Astarion approves, it probably means you did something stupid.
I see a path.
Alright. So we've got a bunch of intellect devourers in here. Are any of them clustered up where we can blast them efficiently? They're more in like a line where we can lightning bolt them maybe, but Too many civilians in the way, I think. We've got 2 guys in that room. Mind Flare, 4 Intellect Devourers in here. Yeah, again, I think they're too mixed up with us. There's no where we can really blast many of them efficiently. That's fine.
Sometimes the only way out is through.
We might want to use a haste here, I think.
Smell blood.
There are a lot of targets, and we will need some movement to hunt down the ones in the neighboring room, I believe. Okay.
Still on my feet.
So if I hex a Mind Flare, will that do more damage? I don't really need to blast any one target that much, but yeah, I'll go for it, I guess. 1, 2, 3. Did that miss, or what happened there? Was hit. Looks like it only did 2. It didn't like even attempt the 3rd hit, seemingly. No misses listed, it just didn't do it. That kind of sucks. Alright, you should be able to get the kill here pretty reliably, Astarion. Yeah, we're getting yourself another action to shoot some other Mind Flayer, maybe. Don't want to walk too far, though. They can charm you, so you can't keep shooting them, but you're totally allowed to shoot their other Mind Flayer buddies. Yeah, okay, we're failing a lot of those charms, but that's okay. They only have 1 charm that can do a piece. Alright, he saved against that one. Well, that's nice. Come on. Alright, Ballista should be able to finish that guy then. If it will target, please. Going to spread these out a bit. Just try to inflict maximum numeric damage rather than focus firing. Critical miss, that's not great. Alright, that one's down, that one's severely injured. You can just get out of the way here, I think. We still got... There's those 2 over there. Can you get over there without, or are you blocked? That provokes an attack and there's a guy in the way. That's the bigger problem. Karlak, if you move out of the way, does that free up Astarion to run through without attacks of opportunity? And hit both those guys, or just one of them?
Moving.
Just one, it seems. No, okay, he can get that one. Alright, great. Well, he could if I had decent luck. There we go. Alright. We just have 1 Mind Flare that is about to get pulverized by all these guys. Nice, and ensnared. It says that it succeeded, but it also says that it failed. No, I'm a little confused by that, but it looks like we're okay. Yes, fly around the inefficient way.
Let's go.
Very good. Reach it. Where is it? It's... Oh, you can't reach the guy that's right next to you. Okay. Yeah, I believe that. Okay. That leaves what? Just that brain? Is that right? No, there's that brain and there's 1 more. Is that right? Yeah, 1 severely injured one. Okay. And there's still Minthara, hasn't gone yet. So she should probably focus on that one.
I seek an advantage.
Not bad. And there we go, a rescue where the rescued didn't need to help at all.
I didn't think I was going to make it. Thank you. I owe you an explanation. Much more than that. But first, please, the others, the ambush. Tell me they survived.
It's not really, I mean, it's kind of on him. It's on everyone who made the idiotic, pointless decision to go into the Shadowcourse lands in the first place. Never mind the details of what happened, there was no intelligent reason to go here.
Somehow I suspect it's worse even than you imagine. Likely you heard that I broke, or froze, or some other lie kinder than the truth. We were ambushed by cultists, yes. And then
Now, I do want to point out one thing that it's minor but did kind of bother me a little bit about this. See, he is the one kind of paladin that is 100% immune to this sort of thing. If he was any other kind of paladin, I mean, fine. But he's the one kind of paladin that cannot be enchanted and charmed.
cult tortured them. They fought and ran and died around me, while I imagined myself their savior. By the time I regained my senses, it was too late. I did not just surrender to the Absolute. For a moment, I welcomed it.
We've got to respect Zevlor's honesty about this and so forth. I guess that is true now in this edition where paladins no longer have to have gods at all.
I fell short of that mark in Avernus, and even so, it was not so bad as this. I won't make excuses. I can't make amends. But I know something of what you came to do. I want to help, if you'll let me. Ketheric is below. He thinks you're no longer a menace. Descend and show him how wrong he is. If there are any more survivors to be found, I'll find them and lead them out of this place. Only if you can trust it won't be buried in your back.
Don't worry, Zevlor, even if you did that, you'd still be a better paladin and more helpful ally than Aelin.
Go, my friend. Please, let me do this much.
Alright, rescued him successfully. Where's Manip Shurga?
What a stench. I'm beginning to think I should have stayed in that pod. In there it only smelled like me. Is there any news about Duke Ravengard? Did he get out alive? No. Tell by your expression.
You would help us rescue him, he's right downstairs.
Gonna have to fall on my sword, aren't I? On the other hand, maybe I'll just live for revenge. Yeah, by Grumsh.
No, not by Groomsh, darn it. Groomsh is the chaotic evil god of the orcs. Pick one of the less stupid gods, why don't you?
Something good here. I hope.
Also, you know, you don't need to get revenge yet. The guy's still alive. You could just help us rescue him. Mind flayers sometimes have useful potions like speed potions, so might as well check them, I think. I'm not really going to bother collecting all the cerebellums. Those aren't really useful or worth the trouble, I don't think. Haste spores. Okay. Don't know why you had them, but that's the best alchemy ingredient in the game. 2 of them. I don't know how to explain that. Must just be random luck. Alright, well, over here on our left, if you look, we'll see Mizora, about to be turned into a mind flayer too.
Brine pools, but empty of tadpoles.
It used to be the lore was that the Elder Brain would be in a pool with all the tadpoles and would eat most of the tadpoles, only the smartest tadpoles would survive. But most of the well-developed lore about mind flayers and their ecology and their societies was in 2nd and 3rd edition, and they all kind of got scrapped in 5th edition and replaced with incoherent nonsense.
By Grazit's cock, it's about time you...
Grazit is a demon lord, by the way, not a devil. Odd choice there.
Go on and gloat. Bow to your pretend crowd. All done? Good. Now, enough sniffing around and get me out of this thing.
Should be pretty easy. Even with a 3, should be pretty easy. Yep.
Incredible. You actually think you hold the winning hand.
Now, unfortunately, we're not allowed to be smart here and, you know, actually make the devil agree to anything intelligent. We have to just be complete morons to be railroaded and to not be able to break Will's pact, which I don't love. Oh well.
Fulfillment of related obligation.
You've heard of this.
Can't ask any questions, can't, yeah.
You first clause.
Anyway, if you have Will here, everything goes exactly the same basically. He can't ask any intelligent questions. Nothing changes except you can get the Infernal Rapier as a reward if you ask for one once she is freed. Nothing is different.
Controls are open to your tadpole's command, to your authority. The symbol's meaning comes into focus. Annihilate. You decipher the symbol. It's an illithid sigil, meaning unleash.
Wouldn't want to misclick that at this point and accidentally kill Will.
Good work. I'd give you a gold star, but I'm fresh out. As for the pact... Clause Z, Section 13. If the Soulbinder consents to separation, she will release the Soul Bearer from all obligation within 6 months.
We could point out that, you know what time is within 6 months? Tomorrow's within 6 months. We could, probably have been intelligent and asked some questions and force the devil to do something that is useful for our terms, but oh well.
Right. I'm out of here. I need a long bath. I'll leave you to your very serious business. But don't you fret. If you survive this place, I'll find you. The pup will be needing me. Count on it. Oh, and ask Will how we met. I've loosened his tongue.
It is an interesting story. I'll give my comments about it. It's possible that basically the whole thing was an elaborate deception just to get him to become a warlock, but I'm not sure that it was thought through that fully. So, who knows? Oh, let's recollect Minthara, I guess, too. Not than hiding heroics from her. Don't pop those barrels, they're full of caustic brine. You want to inspect these pools, though. If you do well, I think you will find that there is a tadpole in one of them.
No tadpoles in this pool.
Yeah. Come on, do better.
There's a parasite.
There we go. And we got the parasite, I think. I don't know why it pings over there. I'm pretty sure we just got the parasite immediately.
Where am I?
Alright, let's get over there and read the book Suspended Ceramorphosis, which explains what's been happening, kind of. I don't remember if we meet Yanthus at any point, or if he's just, Yeah, I'll look into that. Crown of Karsus mentioned here. Okay, so that explains a lot of stuff. Really, pretty much everything has been explained here. If the Dark Arts has been paying attention, he knows everything that happened to him and why and so forth. Zevlor's still hanging around. Okay, I think we have all the brains now, right? How many mines are showing up here? Yeah, we've got 6 in our inventory. I think there are 2 more near the actual brain machine. Let's just head on over to that and read those mines. And then we can head down to battle the boss, Ketheric, again. Come on down, Karlach. Okay.
I feel
Oh, that's useful.
glorious.
So that's an effect of the Resonance Stone there. Now, Resonance Stones were another thing that was elaborated on in the Mind Flayer source book, Lords of Madness. It talked about their society and art and things like that. It's pretty interesting. Emotions that they get from other creatures and so forth, or put into stones and things like that, are a key part of Mind Flayer culture and entertainment. If we carry this stone around, it gives an aura, basically, which is double-edged and very interesting. Good for both us and the enemy in different ways. So, with the Steeped in Bliss condition, we have advantage in physical checks. That means, basically skills. Disadvantage in mental saving throws, which means, importantly, wisdom ones, which are often the most important saving throws of all. And also we're weak to psychic damage. That's all pretty bad overall, but it applies to enemies too. Now we don't have a ton of psychic damage in our party, but we do have some of it from Astarion with the strange conduit ring, for example. And given that I'm on offense like 99% of the time, I can probably get some mileage out of that overall. Though it does mean you want to be careful when fighting Mind Flayers, for example, because now they'll easily be able to Mind Blast the whole team for double damage or whatever, which would be nasty. So I'll keep it. It's interesting. Some people try to build around it. I don't think that's really worth the trouble. There's just not enough massive psychic damage available in the game. Shadowblade, if it was in this game properly, would be great, but there's kind of like a really, really weak, seldom usable form of Shadowblade instead. It takes up a ring slot and it's usable once for short rest. And Alright, so Baldur writing about Gortash and so forth and how he built this device over here. Balthazar, your room is a disgusting, sloppy mess. Don't complain about a few bone shavings.
Seems I can understand a Lithid script. Thank you, Tadpole.
So, this colony fell into decline a long time ago and then was reborn later on. This was written by the Dark Urge. Silly stuff talking to Ball, as if Ball would read this letter. All of these chosen plan to betray each other, basically, in the most obvious way. The Dead Three were usually allies that occasionally became foes because they were just terrible at reaching reasonable agreements about things. But here it kind of acts as though they were usually enemies. I don't think that's accurate, per se. Alright, so 2 more brains, and then there's this machine that we can use to communicate with them. This severed elf head will talk and speak whatever that brain is thinking.
Nothing more. Lending voice to elder law.
I don't know how Gortash came up with it, because it seems to be kind of outside of his actual realm of expertise. Alright, let's go through them. So this was no one important, I don't think. Really, none of them matter that much except for the one that was hidden behind the puzzle.
They won't be laughing much longer. Won't be any more of this. No gnomes in the city. Watch, brev. This Gortash fella's got an idea.
So basically, he just duped people to get their heads chopped off and their brains used for unimportant purposes, mostly. A few of them were useful experiments. Some of them I don't even know why he bothered harvesting them. Alright, let's go with the next mind here. Willing Mind. Was that the one who was like a musical performer?
A splendid.
Yes. Minthara is saying again and again and again every single time a splendid machine about this.
Acoustics are a little off in here. Which is where exactly?
I don't think they can. I don't know. It seems like they sometimes can, sometimes can't see through their eyes to make sense of things.
He heard me singing in Beggar's Rest. Said he needed someone to give voice to lost knowledge. A little over my head, being honest, but the Lord has gold. I trust he knows his business. Now, I'd best warm up. Could do with a bit of natural light, all right. But you know these nobles, odd as fae folk. Now, I need to prepare. Wish me luck.
Alright, let's see. Who's next? We've got done Close and Willing. Let's go with True. This, I think, might have been one of the first True Souls, if I recollect which this one was about.
Every day he comes. Every day for 3 days to ask me how I feel. I want to tell, but...
Come to think of it, why are there different voices for these? Shouldn't they all have the same voice because they're all speaking through the same elf set of vocal cords?
We are his pets. His plan. Lord Gortash. The first, yes. 5 days since he put that thing in my eye, but the first day he came to visit. He says I am the last, that the other subjects have all changed. Separate cells. I never saw them, but When they changed... My head! I can feel them in my head! Eye hurts. Head hurts. But he says I'm past the worst of it. That I won't change like the others. He's given me a place of honor, so he can repeat his miracle. And a name. True soul.
I think this is good stuff here. This was way more interesting and evocative and so forth than just reading journals would have been, which is a more common video game trope for getting this kind of information.
Which is it? Which day? She will praise the absolute.
Let us put in the next brain. I was gravely disappointed the first time, still am really, in the Slave Mind and Dark Mind. We got those back in the Nautiloid. One of them was described very interestingly, it seemed like with a Illithid writing nearby talking about a Githzerai warrior, centuries of darkness, things like that. It sounded like it might be, someone important, but it's nothing. It's absolutely nothing. Carried her all game long for nothing.
Until we're changed! Am I dead? I don't want to die, but I don't want to live, not like this.
I think the other mind just has a little song about, I think the subject was something like, a woman picked the guy's brother over him, just hoping she'll change her mind eventually or something.
I'd love to wine and dine.
Looks like I remembered that, right?
You chose my foolish brother over.
Maybe the idea is that the mind has just kind of gone crazy and just singing songs after all this time or something. I don't know. I don't see any significance in it beyond that.
Will sadly surely be, but my brother, he's a loser, and I take you for a chooser. So perhaps one day you'll leave him high and dry. And if you choose another, what's more loving than a brother? Yes, a stand-up, homely, gentle sort of guy.
I think I would say, as far as quality of poetry or songs made up for video games go, that's definitely in the top quartile. There are a lot of not good poems or songs made for games in my experience, so I like it when a game does that better.
A splendid.
This place listens.
Dara's still saying the same thing. She's as repetitive as these brains.
We have to be smart. Right, you get it. I've been watching, learning. This place is alive. A big thinking thing, and it needs our flesh to grow. I've seen them put corpses in the walls and they just melt away. So we've got to trick it, see? Make it think we're part of it. That's why the door's only open. Wait, how did you get in here? Away, slave! They might have taken your mind, but they won't have mine!
I wonder if that was Chop she was speaking to there. It's possible, but inconclusive, I would think. That is, the one that was now enslaved that then, might have butchered her and so forth, because that was called the Butchered Mind.
A splendid.
Thara, stop repeating it.
Back to bed, Mummy.
Oh, some poor kid. Okay.
Night, night, Mummy. Love you.
And the last one is quite interesting. The one and only Githzerai in the game for some reason. You think they want to get involved? This should be their kind of thing, as should the Githyanki involvement. But, oh well. I would have loved to see Githzerai, who, if you don't know, I mentioned a few times, they're the same race as the Githyanki, but the Githyanki are defined by choosing to be pure evil, essentially, back in the old days, whereas the Githzerai chose not to be pure evil for no reason back in the old days. And the Githzerai fight the Mind Flayers intelligently, whereas the Githyanki are ineffectual and spend their time just being space pirates and slavers.
Pretty enough for a flesh prison, if not the noble Githzerai features I was born with. I'd guess you're no willing guest.
Oh man, the character failed. It's not to pretend to not know what the Githzerai are. We read a book about them back in Yankee Town. I'm gonna avoid saying that because that's just too stupid. Like, the character should know.
A Githzerai's mind is not so easily cracked. Our discipline was the very reason we were attacked. My order taught a psionic technique much feared by the Gate. They destroyed us for it, and kept me as a trophy. I never broke, but...
Now, did I fail my check to realize that she's lying?
All these centuries, awake, aware. So here is my offer. Use your tadpole, erase me, and I will pass my technique on to you.
A prickling flame runs across the back.
I don't actually have a patron telling me this in character, as I've talked about before.
Patron bids you caution before agreeing to this pact. The monk isn't telling you everything.
Basically, this person betrayed the monastery, is what I recollect.
The Gate did not find my monastery. I led them there. They promised me immortality, and they gave it. I have been their rotting trophy.
Phenomenally stupid. But as I recollect, Githzerai did have an intelligence penalty. They had a massive wisdom bonus, but an intelligence penalty back when races actually had both bonuses and penalties.
And terror are almost fragrant. You realize the Elithids locked.
Yeah, this kind of ties in with how the Mind Flayers used to have, interesting lore about such things back in the earlier editions too. It seems clear that they had probably read those books and learned about them, but had to scrap a lot of it because 5th edition scrapped a lot of it and replaced it with not much. These two both result in the exact same thing. One of them is kind of defined as evil, one's defined as good. Either way, you get the exact same benefit.
The awareness that floods you is nothing like the tadpole. It is tentative and tinged.
And it gives you advantage on intelligence saving throws, which are pretty rare, but do help against mind flayers sometimes.
But you feel something left behind. A fragment.
It is only knowledge yet, without comprehension. But when you use it, you will see. And I see.
Alright. Well, out of character we can't do anything for these brains, but in character we would now destroy them all and put them all out of their misery. So pretend that I'm now actually destroying these things as I blast them, but they are invincible objects. Alright, so come on, move. Alright, let's get back to our summons, then we'll go over and we'll battle Ketheric next time.
Good feelings never last.
Wait. Oh, he got out of the aura for the first time? Okay. Are they not walking this direction? Alright, well I guess I better figure out why they're not pathing over here. Well, looking forward to the boss battle next time. Thank you for watching, everyone. And a special thank you to my Patreon supporters. Master Knight DH, Jackie, and Lino, Travis, Andrew Curzon, Troobsy, Oliver, Shrev OG, BD, Gregory, William Wakefield, Broken Box, Jeffrey Morse, Jack, Marcus the Carcass, Nubiana, Till Fisher, Discord Colossus, Nicholas Schmuck, Kosia Nesterovich, Frederick Bruin, Techno Waffle, Nebular, I Loop, Emperor Kong 420, Robin, Micken Balls, Micah Marie, Stefan Van Zyl, Eddie, Kaimu, Mina, Ali Kasamoglu, Skylar Sauce, Nick Myers, Emp Ninjas, Chupaton, Diabetic Cat, Marvin Fang, Max, Sosa 972, Afro Samurai, and Cacper M. Have a great day, everyone.